Hello, y'all. How are you doing? How are you doing? I am Divine Celiane. Welcome to Transformational Tantra. If you are coming back, welcome back. You're so welcome here. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna sit with y'all for a moment. I've been working all day today on different things, and I only like to give videos that are of value to everyone. And I had to sit for a moment because I wasn't quite sure what I want to talk about. Right? I was called to talk about. So today's talk is going to be relatively short. But I have my notes as usual. Okay. And what I wanted to talk about was something that actually has been kind of on my mind for a little bit. So let's address it. It is when I notice when people remove themselves from their own salvation. Let me explain. Okay. So what I decided to do, I decided to look up the word salvation, what it means. And salvation comes from the Latin word salvatio, which means safe, saved, protected from harm. Okay. As a word, salvation means deliverance from the power and the efforts of sin. And I sat with that for a moment. And I sat with it because I sit with the meaning of the word sin, to me not knowing. But I'm sitting with it because I found interesting when they were talking about deliverance from the power and the effects of sin. And when things are put on you, or words are spoken over you, sometimes you have no idea and you have no knowing, but you have no control. That's what I was looking for. Sometimes over what comes into your life. Even though spirit will know, sometimes you have no control, right? So then I was thinking about the deliverance from. I said, interesting. Okay. Now, what does this talk about? A lot of times, people look to outside sources to save them. I'm not going to say right or wrong. That's not what I'm here for. But what I am here to say is they will do so to the point of removing themselves from the equation of their own progress and the work that they've done. So this is what I'm going to say to that. You are the one doing the work on this plane. You can pray to something, you can do your mantras, you can meditate, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're the one doing the work. Whether or not something told you to, you're still the one doing the work. So my question to you is, why are you removing yourself from the accolade? Why are you removing yourself as a partner in that you did the work? Okay? You were a part of your own salvation. Too many people remove themselves from their own salvation. You're doing the work to save yourself or be saved, if you're Christian, right? Why are you removing yourself and saying it's only a being or something outside of you? I don't understand that. So, when people say it is spirit who does it all, and I'm just the vessel. No. Here's why. If you were an empty vessel with no brain and no mind, and you were just doing, not thinking, not really feeling, you were a drone, and you were just doing, then I would say, yes, that is absolutely correct. Because you're not putting any thought in it, you're not putting any emotion in it, you understand what I'm saying? You're just a drone. But you're not. You're a living, thinking being, doing. Right? Sometimes when spirit tells us to do something, we're the ones sitting up asking the question, what do you mean? That's what I got to do. How am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to, right? You are actively taking part in your living process, right? So when you do that, to me, in my opinion, It is folly for two reasons. Okay. Say, for example, you harm someone wrongfully or you act out of love intentionally on purpose, right? And that is to say, Spirit's doing it through you to do that. And it might, because it does that, right? Or it goes along with what you're doing. It knows, right? You're saying that you're not capable of controlling yourself and what you're doing. That only Spirit can. That's what you're saying. So you putting all your responsibility of your actions on Spirit. And that means that you need something to tell you what to do. But you're also not taking accountability for the stuff that you're doing that's wrong. You saying it's all Spirit, well, if it's all Spirit, that was Spirit then who did that to me. No, boo, that was you. Again, how many times have y'all heard me say, I don't recall seeing a 70-foot black being walking around here making you do something. But y'all so quick to blame Satan and y'all don't know Satan. Okay? Y'all don't have a clue. Matter of fact, honestly, who the law belongs to, the law of Spirit, God belongs to, right? It was a lock and key system. They had written and they had oral. Thank you. They had written and they had oral law. Oral law is passed down. They did not write it down because if they did, they knew that the Greeks would come in and they were going to steal it like they did from the Egyptians. Let's keep it real. And so then they knew, because it says it in the Kabbalic Bible, they knew that the Greeks would say it was theirs or anyone else coming in. And that's what it says. So that's why they couldn't write down the oral law, because it would be taken and someone else would try to claim it. But it also says that law is for the Jews, primarily for the Jews, right? And then we know Jesus came, gave it for everybody else. This is not a religious lesson. I just wanted to say that, to say that it's so easy to hand something over that we don't have an understanding of, right, in the first place. Because it tells you, in the Kabbalic Bible, it tells you there's no way you can get an understanding without the oral law that goes with it to explain it. Now, for Christians, that's their church. But we still, in looking at Old Testament and Old Law, we still do not understand, because we don't have that oral law from the Jews. It's not given us because we're not Jews. Okay? And it's been so skewed and raped. No way, except for your intuition, right? There's only some basic functioning that we can work on, that we can understand. So when you're giving it all over, a lot of you, not all of you, a lot of you are making it to where you're no longer accountable for what you're doing, including your sin. You're making it to where you're not accountable, where there's no discipline. Well, I gave it over, so. Okay, there's some things you need to, that is totally out of your control. Absolutely. Give it over to Spirit or whatever you want to give it over to, right? If that's your path and that's what you agree with. But you're saying you can't control yourself. You need something else to control you. And then we wonder why people can walk in on this plane, tell you something, and you follow to the letter with no proof, with nothing to back it up, and you're following something that you don't understand. Hence why a lot of people, as my other talk, shit on love, and they don't even understand what love is. A lot of people sit up here and talk bad about Satan. They don't understand what Satan really comes from, what it is. Because that book was taken out the Bible. To even understand why it turned the way it did. It was taken out. So a lot of things we follow from hearing other people, but no proof. Proof is out there, y'all. All you got to do is do the research. You want to know about Satan? Look in the book of Enoch, which was taken out. So anyway, and there's other books. Satan even had his own book. That was taken out the Bible. But we ain't going to talk about that. So anyway, because I don't use that book. So anyway, only sometimes do I reference that. So those of you that do understand. Okay, so that's one thing. You Also are saying you're not capable of wielding the gifts that were given to you upon your birth to have the wherewithal to know right and wrong and what to do on this plane. When you're completely giving it over and you're saying, my hands are no longer on it. That's not true. Yes, it is, because you're still doing it. Your hands is on it. Okay? Also, likewise, when you do good and to be rewarded, right? You're saying it's not you at all to be rewarded. Really? Because the last time I checked, when you refuse to receive something from spirit, it don't like that. And it will take it away and give it to somebody else. And then your ass ends up with, I don't want to call it the mayor, but you end up with something less favorable. And it ain't a gift necessarily. So you're saying then that even when you do the good work, it's still God or it's still spirit. You didn't do it. Yes, you did. That reward is yours. So if you're going to sit up, and this I noticed too, if you're going to sit up and you're going to take the reward, but you ain't going to take the punishment and you're going to get that over. No, boo. You take it all. Just like love is all, you take it all. Okay? You can't choose one and not the other. You got to choose it all. So, you're given the wherewithal to know. You're given the knowledge to discern. That's your intuition. You're the one having the experience. The spirit realm experiences through you and through observation, but you are the one having the experience. It is your accountability. It is your responsibility. It is your discernment. You co-create with spirit. Period. You co-create this. Yes, there are things laid out for you, but you make the choices based on your will, how you get there. You understand? So, and I'm not talking about when you're having hard times and you give it up and you have the faith. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where when your steps are walking, and spirit is walking with you, right? But you still walking on your two legs. I love footprints. And that has a different connotation than this, right? But I'm talking about when you are walking with your two legs. And spirit is walking with you, ancestors, spirit guides, whatever. You're the one doing the work. Okay? The work of loving yourself. You're the one doing the work. You're doing the work. Please don't forget that. Please don't remove yourself from the equation. You're working too hard to remove yourself. Every day you work on yourself. You don't realize you are, but you are, because you have to balance out everything that's happening to you all the time. You're doing that. Spirit may help you, but whose mind is doing it? Whose mind is receiving the downloads? Who is having to preach it out and teach it out to other people? You. So you're the one endowed to do it, right? The whole purpose of this talk is do not downplay your responsibility and do not downplay your walk in all this. Got it? All right, my loves. I know it was short. I said it was going to be short today. But that's what I was called to talk about. It's very short, sweet, and to the point. I'm going to hold you forever. If you like, you can check out my Etsy store. I added more items. I have healing oil, very good for the joints, or very good for ailments of the body, especially if negative energy has been put on you. I have protection spray that was specifically made during the eclipses when we had them, and the equinoxes. In particular, the spring and summer. I have love oil. And I have abundance oil. And we also have some items for our Christians out there. Some necklaces and more things are being added. So please check out the Etsy store. It will be in the description below. And I am available and open for personal readings. And how I want to explain kind of how I do my personal readings. My personal readings are channeled readings. Sometimes they're done with a mix of tarot and oracle. But other times, and really what it is, I am reading you with your permission. I do not read third parties because I don't have their permission. But I am reading your energy, and I'm listening to Spirit, or what Spirit wants you to know at this time. And so you get a comprehensive report on that, and then you get advice on what to do to move forward in the space where Spirit is leading you to go. That's how I do my readings. It's a little bit different. And proud to say, our program is almost done, and we'll be up and running for people to join. I am so excited on how to love you, and I will, of course, be guiding that. And so kind of working on that and going from there and just getting people to love themselves one person at a time. You know what I'm saying? So it is my pleasure to serve you as always. And you please have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Until we meet again very soon. I love you so much. I love you. You take care. Namaste.